Hey there everybody, I'm Trudy, One Grounded Angel, and this is an angel card reading video for the week starting the 20th of July through to the 26th of July 2020. So the first thing to tell you is that we have a new moon in the sign of Cancer on Tuesday. And if you're thinking, didn't we just have like a new moon in Cancer? You are right. This is very rare. We have 2 consecutive new moons in the same sign. Cancer is the sign ruled by the moon, funnily enough, so it's any sort of lunar alignments that operate in the sign of Cancer are like a enhanced kind of effect. It's the sign of motherhood in terms of nurturing. It doesn't have to be literally being a mother. So any kind of nurturing you do in your own life towards yourself in particular. It's also the sign of emotions, so maybe we could see some big emotions coming through. It's also the sign of the home and family, and obviously so many of us are in isolation, spending a lot of time at home. Maybe this is partly going to help you feel a little bit more comfortable with where you're at right now. So we'll start shuffling. Remember that I've started shuffling, but I should say before I go into the cards that a new moon is an opportunity for setting goals. So really good time to think about, do I want to set any goals in those areas? Do I want to start some new beginnings, turn a corner in any of those areas? Or any area, in fact. Here's Monday's card, you found it. Here is Saint Anthony on this, and he is basically like the saint equivalent of actually, if you grew up in a Christian family, you might have heard of St. Anthony as being the one you call on when you've lost your car keys or something equivalent. There's also an archangel equivalent, Archangel Chamuel, you can also call on. And these divine beings are available to all of us. You certainly don't have to be religious to call on them. This card is not really speaking about your car keys, although if you have lost them, definitely call on this guy. It is speaking to something larger that is missing or absent from your life. So have you been looking for a particular career path, and maybe this is telling you that you've found it, but you just haven't actually acted on it yet, or maybe it's just giving you the validation that you are on the right track. So what is it you've been looking for? You've found it, or you're about to find it. It's really kind of, I guess, a validating message. Pretty simple, really. Tuesday's card is shuffling away, see what's going to come up. Is this maybe the wrong? Oh no, here we go. So Tuesday's card is Damara, guiding children. So I mentioned before about that Cancerian energy around nurturing. It doesn't have to be literal. If you don't have children, that is okay. There will still be people in your life that you are nurturing to some degree. Maybe they might not even be children, although they could be your nieces or nephews, for example. But maybe they're actually team members that you are the direct report for. Maybe it's your own inner child. I'm not big on inner child work, but for those of you who are, maybe that's the message for you. I don't think with any card for me around children, it's around thinking, how do I need to mother myself right now? Am I taking care of myself the way I need to? Am I giving myself the things that I would need, a child in my position? Do I need a little bit of encouragement? Do I need a little bit of support? Do I need to ask for help? Do I need to relax and take a step back? So if those messages don't resonate with you, it could be literally about, if you've been thinking about embarking on a career in childcare, certainly this would validate that choice for you. But if you are a parent and you've got a child who is of any age, who is struggling with something at the moment, this really confirms that you're on the right track towards helping them. Let your intuition guide you, not your fear. Your fear that they're making a big mistake or something like that is probably a strong voice that will come up for you. But remember, your intuition is probably the voice that will tell you what to do about this. What is the truth of this matter? That's what you need to trust. And here, Wednesday's message have confidence. That could speak to the situation I just spoke about, or it could be about something completely unrelated that you need to have confidence in. Maybe you're thinking of applying for a new job, but you think, oh, well, I'm not qualified for that. Well, that doesn't stop a lot of people from applying for jobs, so it shouldn't stop you either. You're probably better at things than you think you are. If you're watching this, you're very unlikely to be an arrogant person, so I'm sure you're not overrating yourself. Try and back yourself. Of course, you don't know everything, and you probably never will, but you know enough to get started, and the angels will help you along the way. So it's okay to get started if you don't have 100% confidence in yourself. I know a lot of people subscribe to that whole fake it till you make it thing. I personally, that doesn't resonate for me, but if that works for you, by all means go with that. I think it's okay just to get started knowing that you're good enough, and the rest you'll figure out as you go. You're probably much better than you think, actually. Thursday's card is very similar: honor and trust your feelings. So as I mentioned earlier, whatever your intuition is telling you is the message that you need to speak to. Unfortunately, the voice of fear often comes up much stronger and much more pressing. It often has a sense of urgency to it. Your intuition is sort of that quiet knowingness. Sometimes you really have to take a step back to hear it. I recently read Glennon Doyle's book, Untamed. Maybe you've read it too. If you haven't, it's excellent. It's called Untamed. Her name is Glennon Doyle. She calls it the knowingness. It's the voice that she talks about how she used to go and sit in her closet by herself, shut the door while the kids were at school, and just really do some deep thinking without about what I actually. And the closet was just to isolate her from other distractions or what other people think, just to get that quiet time. We often need to turn down the volume on what's going on up here to get into alignment with that voice. It's there, it's talking to you. Often we don't listen to it, or often we do, and then we freak out and think, oh no, that's too risky, I don't want to do that. So if you have been having intuitive guidance and you've doubted it, maybe this is telling you the feeling's genuine and you need to go with them. And maybe this is just asking you to actually make a point of listening. And meditation can, of course, be a really good way to do that. That does turn down the volume on your brain, takes you into a place where you can really listen to what's coming up for you. Journaling can be good. Sometimes we just need to get all the noise out of here onto the page so we can have that silence. The mind feels like it's been listened to, and then there's space for this other beautiful divine voice to come to the fore. I'm going through these really, really fast. I hope that I'm not rushing it. Friday's card here is prioritize. We literally had this card last Thursday. If you didn't get the memo on that, that's okay. They're giving you another chance. So prioritize is about what is the most important on your to-do list. If you are giving too much energy and too much time to things that actually aren't that important, then maybe this is your wake-up call. For example, if you're devoting time to making other people happy and those people don't actually ever give anything back to you, maybe that's something for you to think about. Why am I neglecting the things that I need, the self-care that I need for these other people? That could be your wake-up call on that. It could also be about something that you maybe came here to work on, or a goal you set, part of your life purpose, and you've let that fall by the wayside because it's not the thing screaming at you saying, we need food, got to go shopping, or got to clean the house, or whatever it is. And I'm not saying those things aren't important, of course they are, but we need to find a better way to work our schedules so that these things still get some time and energy from us. And that means maybe you have to bump a few things off a list that actually don't matter. Sometimes we overcommit our time to avoid sitting with our thoughts because we're worried about what might come up. I used to be a shocker for this. Not trying to shame myself, but I definitely had an awareness I was doing it. I was overcommitting. If I got to like a Friday and I had not enough plans for the weekend, that was really distressing to me. I needed to have my time allocated for the weekend, so there wasn't going to be enough time for me to sit around thinking because I was scared about what would come up, some of the hurtful messages, self-shaming, etc. So thinking about how you prioritize your time, getting a bit organized as well. So shuffling for Saturday now. Workshops and seminars, so a bit of learning here, and it doesn't have to be formal education. If you've been feeling called to do a workshop or do some sort of seminar, some sort of online course, then that would be validation that that's right for you. But maybe it's just an opportunity for you to do some learning on a less formal, less structured level. Also, I should point out, if there are some of you thinking about going and becoming teachers or instructors, definitely, I'm getting there's a lot of energy around that. For some of you are really needing a bit of a push to do that. You know it's right for you, go do it. But for others, it might be just around general life lessons. We're all here to learn and grow. That's why it's called the Earth School. So is there something you're not really taking on board that you need to learn? I don't know what that could be. Maybe you keep repeating a pattern. You keep reaching for things that don't serve you. Maybe there's a lesson you need to do to fulfill here. Maybe there's something you need to understand more about what's going on underneath, and you might like to do some reading of online blogs, or watch a few TED Talks or something like that to get a deeper level understanding of what's going on, so you can make better choices. Sunday's card, Sign from Heaven. Now this very, very rarely comes up. It's super uncommon, and it is a bit of a sensitive one. So if for those of you who are grieving and you've sensed someone you love is around you, this validates that and lets you know they are still around you. In a personal reading, obviously I would be asking, have you sensed someone around you lately? If so, here's the validation. Often those people will speak to you in ways that are familiar to you. Their fragrance or something will come through, or their favourite song you'll hear on the radio, even though it's like not a common song to hear. So pay attention to those things, because they are a sign from the other side. Now, if you haven't lost anyone, or you haven't felt like this is really resonating for you, then really the message for you is letting you know that you've got a lot of spiritual support around you, and who doesn't need that, right? So to clarify, people who we love who've passed on are not the same as angels. Angels are divine entities assigned to us by Spirit, uniquely to us, who have not walked the earth. So there's a whole, I could talk for a long time about all the different types of spiritual entities that might be around us. This card does really speak to humans who are around you, but it doesn't have to. Like for me personally, I don't get a strong read from this for me. So I think it's more about that I have a spiritual team around me, reminding me to check in with them, reminding me to ask them for help instead of trying to shoulder the burden of solving all my problems by myself, asking for help, asking for guidance, and reminding myself I'm not alone. I'm someone who often has an experience of feeling very isolated. There is no one like me, no one understands me. You probably feel this way too, because the path of a light worker, unfortunately, is one where you're not part of the mainstream, which is great, which is awesome. Who wants to be part of the mainstream? But it can be isolating. You can end up feeling like there's something wrong with you. And something I often forget to do when those feelings are bubbling up for me is to speak to Spirit, and because they can often make themselves known if I ask for help, and a reminder that they're around, and I can feel a lot less alone from that. And it's a different kind of community. It's a kind of love and support that is unconditional, that is not encumbered by judgment or about expectations about what you should or shouldn't do. It's very free-flowing, it's always available, and it's a very rich source of love and support. So I think there's a lot of pretty straightforward messages here coming through. I can't really see a lot of patterns between them, except really the strong message about trusting your intuition, with this honor and trust your feelings, and also this your founder idea. And I guess they have confidence as well. We're getting encouraged to really go through with our plans, the things that we know are right for us. We all need reassurance about that from time to time. So there's certainly, if you've been struggling to trust in that, there's nothing wrong with you. Please don't think, why can't I just trust? It's not always that easy. We're human, life can be hard sometimes. So don't beat yourself up about that too much. Now, as always, these cards go on my Instagram each day. In the morning here in Australian time, but whatever time you see the card on my Instagram or my Facebook is the time you probably need it, so don't get too confused by time zones. My Instagram account is @OneGroundedAngel. My Facebook page is One Grounded Angel. You don't have to be on Facebook. You can access that by facebook.com/OneGroundedAngel. You must use your own judgment when it comes to relating these messages to your own life. They are very general. They have to be. I can't give you any direct advice. However, if you would like something a little more tailored to your needs, please do book in for a personal reading, and that way I can really check in with you and see what's going on for you, where you're getting stuck, where you're confused, and help you to really come into alignment with that beautiful source of divine guidance. So you can do that via my website, which is www.onegroundedangel.com. And you can also email me, onegroundedangel@gmail.com, and there is a bunch of information on my website about how I work, about the different services I offer. There's a one-off service you can get for just one card. That's only $11 Australian, about $7.50 US dollars. If you just want a quick hit of guidance, a card that's drawn just for you. Or if you want a full 1 hour reading where we really take a deep dive and do some healing, that's also available via Zoom. And of course, the specialized energy healing sessions where we can really unravel what's going on for you, the things, why you're attracting things that you don't want or things that aren't right for you, where your habits are, your patterns, and really clear some of those at a very deep level. So that's it for the week. I hope it's been helpful for you, and I'll be back again next week. Take care of yourselves.